good, Papa?
What are you doing? And to conclude his message, he puts out his truth. Toddy's just hating on
Look outside. When I was your age, I didn't have anything to play on. You don't get that.
You know what I mean? You hating on him because he's popping. He's really popping. You know what I mean? You hating on him because he's really
my mom, she's in the hospital.
Now you might be thinking that this is all internet shenanigans, and it is, but in a city like Memphis, much less can get you slumped. Like once you go on the radio discussing the beef, or
On my way to Ottawa.
hood, diss them, yeah. All the squabbling is out of the window. This is not like other cities. When it's up, it's really up. For really no reason at all, Dolph was now a major target in Memphis. There were a bunch of people ready to crash out for Yo Gotti, as you'll see for the rest of the video. But either way, standing down or throwing the white flag was not in Dolph's character whatsoever. In fact, he would do the complete opposite. He would drop one of the most disrespectful diss songs in rap history. February 22nd, 2017.
My mom is very sick. Don't play with me. Go visit her.
Play with your band.
In the song, he gets straight to business.
Don't play with me. Oh, Gotti, you a hoe, man. You went from my biggest fan to my biggest hater. Begging me to silence you, but you know I had too much paper.
To make matters worse, he disses Yo Gotti's big brother Joke by saying that he used to serve him, but didn't. Now he calls him Big Sister. The song slaps, and literally the entire thing is disrespectful. So instantly it would go viral. You had everyone in the country dissing Yo Gotti. On accident, I guess. Basically, this was stop playing with me with all the threats. I'm not scared of you or worried about you at all. Please just get off my phone. Well, obviously, Yo Gotti was more than pissed, along with his big brother Jook, because his name was dragged into it as well. This was obviously a major power move by Dolph, but I'm not sure he knew what he was up against. Or maybe he did and just didn't care. Why I say that? Well, now I have to introduce you to Yo Gotti's muscle and power in the streets of Memphis. As you'll see, this was enough to play with. Being a multi-millionaire wasn't having ultimate power in a city like Memphis. That's because there's an infinite number of crash outs who will slide for a small fee. It's really that simple. But on top of this, for Yo Gotti, he had family connections to a notorious gang in North Memphis known as the True Mafia. And although this isn't an organized gang with put-ons, DPs, squabbles, and all that, it's more so like crash outs that rock together and crash over anything. And when I say over anything, well, that's my segue to introduce you to some of their members. First, we have a guy named Justin Johnson, who's locally known as the rapper Straight Drop. This is a guy who's truly willing to sit down and do life for any reason possible. Why I say that? Well, that takes us to January 31st, 2017. It's a regular Tuesday night in Memphis, and Straight Drop takes his girlfriend out to a bowling alley in East Memphis. So at 8 p.m., the couple head off to Hardwood Lanes and get to bowling together. As they're bowling, Straight Drop somehow gets into an argument with the couple in the lane right next to them. And boom, just like that, they start throwing hands while their feet are slipping everywhere. After the security separates them, Straight Drop puts his hands up and walks out of the bowling alley, as if he's showing mercy, I don't want any problems. But little does everyone know, he has other plans. As he walks to his car, he tells his girl to hop in the driver's seat and pull around in 2 minutes. He then grabs a chopper out of his trunk, cocks it, and walks right back to the bowling alley. There, he sees the couple that he fought right outside, and sadly, without hesitation, he straight drops on them. Thankfully, after being rushed to the hospital, the couple would be okay. And on top of this, later that night, police were able to get security footage and track down the license plate.
Est-ce que t'as entendu ça? T'as entendu ça? Le gars, il a beef avec un couple.
Pray for my mom, she's very sick.
Deux en plus.
I'm gonna go visit her in Ottawa.
I had nothing to do with it. So boom, just like that, Straight Drop is arrested, facing 2 attempts and 2 assaults with a deadly weapon, and of course, 20 years in Tennessee prison. Now you might be wondering, what was the point of this story? But trust me, Straight Drop will be very important later on. Oh, and so will his best friend named Cornelius Smith. And this guy's got a track record longer than Jason Love. Kidnappings, carjackings, assaults, you name it, just all the Memphis activities. So now you understand that these are the type of guys that Gotti has on speed dial. Absolute crash outs who are willing to smoke Dolph because he did anything to them, because Boss Man wants it done. But thankfully for Dolph at this very time, they were both locked up. But regardless, this didn't mean that he was safe. And that takes us to February 25th, 2017. It's the annual CIAA basketball tournament in Charlotte, North Carolina. And if you're unfamiliar, the tournament is a tradition where the historically black schools compete for a trophy, while Dolph is in town to support the tournament and, of course, to perform in 2 first of which is an outdoor day party in Charlotte's fourth floor. So Dolph performs at 5 p.m. and everything goes well. Once he's done, he collects his money and heads off to his next. Or at least that's potential. 6:30 p.m. Dolph and his crew are on a black escalator heading down Caldwell Street. As they turn the corner into 8th Street, that's when a car gets right up behind them.
We're in the countryside now.
Goes down, and out of nowhere it starts blowing at the escalator.
Over there look like barn.
After dumping over 100 shots into the escalator, the car speeds away, thinking that Dolph and his crew were definitely goners. But little do they know, the escalator is 100% bulletproof and not a single round pierced through. But regardless, this was definitely a scary incident and a wake-up call to how serious Dolph's beef was. His rivals wanted dead so bad, he looked to send hitters his way in completely different states. Shots was now aware of the level of danger ahead, except he really didn't seem to care at all. Why I say this? Well, because right after getting laid out 100 times, he still went on to perform at his later show.
A day party. A day party. We was headed for where we were headed to. Pulled up like a day party on Gip Street. They started shooting. They shot. Shooting over. Shit, I had another party to go to there like around when so shit, we went to be our party that night.
Dolph's the ultimate hustler, not to mention that he just wasn't scared of anything. On top of this, he wanted the world to know that I'm not worried about Yo Gotti whatsoever. Just a month after the incident, Dolph released a song called 100 Shots, alluding to everything that happened. So basically after this, the whole world knew that Yo Gotti was thirsty for Dolph's head. Let me try that again. Yo Gotti wanted to spank Dolph, and even after this major failed attempt in Charlotte, they weren't done yet. Persistence. We're gonna keep trying, we're gonna find you wherever you are. And that fast forwards to 6 months to September 26, 2017. It's a Tuesday afternoon in Los Angeles, and young Dolph arrives in town for a show on Thursday. He lands around 2 p.m. and takes a limo with his crew to Hollywood and checks into the Lowe's Hotel. Shortly after checking in, he figures why not go outside and do some shopping. So by himself with no worries, he walks down the Shoe Palace on Hollywood Boulevard. As he's approaching the store, the gold escalator is creeping up behind him. That's when two men spot Dolph, hop out of the escalator, and run him down. Bang! They pop him up, run back to the car, and speed away. Dolph knows that he's critically injured, so he runs into the Shoe Palace, flags down employees, and tells them to call an ambulance. Thankfully, the ambulance arrives in under 5 minutes, and Dolph is rushed to the hospital. Regardless, it's still very serious, as Dolph is listed as critical condition.
Bullets flying in Ottawa fame. Tourist Ducky and a rap artist was seriously injured. Tonight, police say ugly rivalry may be behind that shooting.
Meanwhile, while Dolph is in there fighting for his life, the suspects crash the escalator in the Hollywood Hills. They try their best to run away on foot, but little they know Los Angeles has helicopters in the sky. So within minutes, 2 arrests are made. As the news breaks of Dolph getting shot, everyone in the world is wondering what the heck happened. Was this a robbery gone wrong? Did Dolph have beef with someone in LA? Because there's definitely no way that his rivals in Memphis went all the way to California to get him. And to do this on Hollywood Boulevard in front of everyone? Nah, no chance. But little did people know that the roads in Memphis are different.
A man has been arrested in connection with the shooting of rapper Young Dolph. Police booked Corey from Memphis, Tennessee for attempted murder. Young Dolph was shot multiple times Tuesday after getting into an argument with 2 men outside of a Hollywood hotel. The rapper remains in critical condition. Bail for McClendon has been set at $1 million.
So now the question is, who is this Corey McClendon from Memphis, Tennessee? Well, according to Los Angeles police, he's a longtime childhood friend of Yo Gotti. So this all but confirms exactly what this was about. At this point, Dolph is so hated that he can't travel safely to cities like Charlotte or Los Angeles, California. While thankfully Dolph was able to recover, this was yet another scary incident. Not only did his ops track him down all the way on the other end of the country, they were also staying at the exact same hotel. This was very suspicious, but somehow Corey McClendon was able to beat the case 2 years later. This was the second failed attempt on Dolph's life. At this point, it's like, come on, give it up. First of all, from what we know, the beef isn't that deep. It's just simple jealousy. That's it. And thankfully for the meantime, the attempts on Dolph's life calmed down. Just peace, prosperity, and elevation for Dolph's life. For the next few years, the CMG side was focused on building up their record label. Dolph was turning into a global star. Both sides were absolutely thriving, definitely putting on for Memphis. So because of this, there was really no need to beef at all. It even got to the point that Dolph started rolling around Memphis by himself in his flashy cars. The bottom line is that after the Los Angeles shooting, it was very good for years for both sides. So in everyone's minds by 2021, the beef is pretty much a memory. But little did people know, for whatever reason, the CMG side was still as motivated as ever to spank Dolph. In fact, Memphis police believed that they were so determined to end Dolph that Gotti's brother Joe would put a $100,000 bounty on his head. That takes us to mid-November 2021. Dolph is back home in South Memphis visiting family and friends, driving around in his signature camo-wrapped Corvette. Obviously, just being in Memphis alone is a risk. Driving around in a car that you post all over the internet. My goodness, man. Maybe he thought the camouflage would make him invisible, but that's really not how it works. Or maybe he just didn't think he was in danger and had no clue about the $100,000 bounty on his head. But unfortunately, the haters from the other side know all about the bounty. Once they get word that
Snow is
Dolph
melting now, almost summer.
they get ready to learn. Well, that takes us back to some people that I introduced earlier. First, we have Justin Johnson, also known as Straight Drop. Wait, wasn't this the guy who lit up the bowling alley and got arrested for it? Yep, that's him, and he was facing 20 years in prison. However, Memphis is so lenient on crime that he only did 6 months in jail before being released. And because of his negligence, he was right back to the life of crime in the streets. And secondly, we have Straight Drop's best friend, a man named Cornelius Smith. And this guy, well, he was supposed to be in prison as well for carjacking and for kidnapping. However, in typical Memphis fashion, the judge let him off easy once again. Well, because of this, the duo were back together in the streets, hungry for that alleged $100,000 bounty. While Dolph was casually riding around Memphis in his Corvette, these two were riding around looking for him. And that takes us to November 17th, 2021, 12:15 p.m. Dolph leaves his grandma's house in South Memphis and heads to a local bake shop called Cornelius Cookies. After getting a couple of cookies and supporting the local business, he walks back out to his Corvette. But little does he know, Straight Drop and Cornelius know exactly where he's at and are on their way. So while Dolph is standing outside his car not paying attention, Straight Drop and Cornelius pull up in a white Mercedes that they stole from him before. As soon as they spot Dolph, they instantly stop the car and hop out with choppers. And without hesitation, they start up each. After airing out the gate, they speed off and enter a local neighborhood called Orchmount. And here's where they arrive at the house of an associate named Hernandez Govan. Without wiping down the car, tossing blinks, changing license plates, nothing. They simply park in his driveway and walk inside in the same clothes they did the day. Now, why exactly are they there? Well, police say that they're there to collect the money from Joe, except that Govan is the mailman. So they inform him that they completed the job and discuss where the payment will come from. They end up agreeing that Cornelius will get $45,000, Straight Drop will get $45,000, and Govan's cut is $10,000. Now, to me, this is ridiculous. The risk involved in only getting $45,000 and $10,000 for Govan? No way. But in a poverty-stricken city like Memphis, $45,000 is absolutely life-changing. So after being promised the money, the duo decide to cover their tracks. They wipe down the car for fingerprints and take the weapons used and throw them into the Mississippi River. Well, they would just take it right next door to Govan and park it behind the house. So on January 5th, 2022, an arrest warrant was made for Justin Johnson.
WREG shareholders for the day investigating
Yeah, the back.
and as long as with what she found out, Shay would have.